Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the madness. Welcome to Salty Sweet Games. I am the aforementioned Salty.
And I'm Sweet.
And these various assorted spices are our friends. Before we go around and meet everyone and their characters who are only vaguely murderers, not even all of them, let's talk about some channel stuff. Firstly, a ton of thanks to our sponsor, Roll20, our virtual tabletop of choice, which unites gamers across any distance with easy-to-use tools that run straight from your web browser for free. We are part of their Spotlight program that highlights indie creators all across the TTRPG sphere, and we are super, super grateful that they have sponsored us because they make my life easier because the rules are in the thing, and I don't have to have a million tabs open, and I love them. Thank you. Also, we have a brand new sponsor. For those of you who like physical click-clacks and those chonky boys, I'm actually talking about dice in case, my lingo is just too cool. We're talking about dice. We're talking about specifically Dice Envy. We are now part of their affiliate program, and if you go to diceenvy.com/saltysweet and you use our code SALTYSWEET, all caps, one word, all caps, SALTYSWEET, you get 10% off of your shiny math rocks, and you help support the channel. So that's a win-win. Also, I'm going to show you my favorite chonky boy from, again, that's a dice. I'm going to show you my favorite chonky boy from Dice Envy because it's also so good for Cthulhu if, it were a D100. But I'll find a use for it. But it's my favorite. It's called Snakebite. One day I'll get it to focus. Yes!
Yeah!
It's
that
wood,
looks so good.
And it's called Snakebite, and it's huge, and I love it.
Yeah, we love their dice. We have basically all of our giveaways and stuff, dice related, have been from Dice Envy. So we're super excited to be partnering with them like this and to be part of their affiliate program. So get yourself some Kienna dice and help support us.
And thank you to everybody who has subscribed and gifted subs. So we have those sweet, sweet emotes to share. We're going to get some sub badges for y'all next. Also, there are donation options listed below that can seriously impact the game using bits or our Streamlabs tip jar. That is the most direct way that you can support. So if that's your bag, if you want to do that and help the PCs, win. All these things that we do, they exclusively go toward channel upkeep. It just helps us keep the lights on, helps us get beautiful art for our players and for you to see. And you get to help out the PCs if you do that. Last thing, we here at Salty Sweet Games use safety tools, lines, veils, X and O cards, stars and wishes, and content warnings because while the characters are going to be put through literal hell in this campaign, the players are here to have fun, and they are our priority always. Without further ado, let's meet our players so I can stop talking. Kienna, who are you playing today?
Hi everyone, I'm the Sweet of the channel, as said before, and I am playing Irene Blackwell, who is a resident forger. Usually pretty good with a gun, but didn't have one on her this time, and super sad that her friend got murdered. It's cool.
Yeah, it sounds cool. It sounds like you're totally fine with it and not seeking vengeance at all.
Nope.
All my plans. Allison, our only member of this party to take damage. Hey, what's up?
Yes.
What's up, girl?
Hey.
Oh, bless
Thanks
you.
so much.
Bless you, Hawk, for our weekly pool of advantages. Hawk here saving lives like he does.
IRL cleric.
Yep, IRL cleric. Allie, who are you playing?
And
how do you feel?
We're gonna need it. Hi, everybody. It's Allison. I am playing Ganymede Graves, adventure scientist, and I'm feeling a little bit bruised. Just a little bit bruised.
Yeah.
May have fallen off a fire escape twice.
Yeah.
But still got my man. Still got all the goodies that he was carrying. Still stuffed him in the trunk of his getaway car.
The cultist. I was like, you got your man. Yeah. Who's your man? don't know. I guess we'll see. Summer. Hello, Summer.
Hi.
Hi. How's it going? Who are you playing? How are you feeling?
I feel great. I feel amazing. I am Summer. I use she, her pronouns, and I am playing Charlie Rapp, who uses he, him pronouns, and he talks to ghosts. But only when he wants to. Right?
Sure.
Yeah, most
Or
of the
only
time.
when the ghosts want to.
Only when we both want to talk to each other.
It's a mutual thing.
It's a mutual thing.
I just saw what I've done to Tommy's face. I'm so... Don't worry about it, Tommy. It's fine. Nothing to be worried about. Listen, there we go. Beautiful.
Bump him up.
Hey.
There we go.
Hey, Tommy. How you doing?
Hi. I have magically grown 5 inches taller in the last
He's
second.
so tall.
Hi, I'm Tommy. I play Alright, going through the list of characters in my head. It is 9 a.m. Zebulon Augustine Claiborne Montgomery III. Our resident sweet bab, grown up now. All grown up, completely grown up. 100% a real man now.
Getting into it, aren't we?
But also, a photojournalist now, so a little bit more skeptical than he may have been once before, and a little pissed right now, a little angry, a little upset. Good, as someone he really looked up to and really liked is dead now. You damn cultists! It's always got to be cultists.
This campaign is so long, and Tommy, I have to tell you, there are so many cultists.
I figured.
Just so many. All right, everyone. I am going to do a recap. It's going to be brief because we had a lot of combat last time. So, the investigators battled the 3 cultists immediately responsible for Jackson Elias's murder. Zebulon pummeled one into unconsciousness. Ganymede pursued one in a dangerous descent down the fire escape into the alley below, where she eventually bested him and then stuffed his unconscious form into an idling car's trunk. And Charlie let gravity do the deed for him. Meanwhile, Irene kept the crowd forming in the hotel's hallway at bay. The gents made a quick search of the room before the police arrived, finding several clues about Jackson's last movements, while Ganymede made her way to the hospital after extracting an additional clue from the fleeing cultist body. 45 minutes later, Lieutenant Martin Poole arrives. That's where we're starting. So, in the hotel room, I believe we have Irene, Zebulon, and Charlie. We have some armed, I almost said armed guards. Basically, uniformed police that arrived on the scene first. Like I said,
I've got an important question.
Yes, I would love to answer.
Is there a house dick here at this hotel?
Sorry, did you just say a house dick?
Yeah, house detective.
A house detective. Sure.
It's an important question that I needed to know the answer to.
Sorry, it's early and house dick took me a second. Okay.
I had to. I had to know.
Listen, I'm so glad. And Ganymede is on her way to the hospital. Right?
Yeah, with all the stuff.
With the stuff. With
the stuff.
With all the
goods.
stuff?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, except for the stuff in the room.
Right. Okay, just checking. I was like, how
but
did
all the
she
stuff
get
a
that?
guy took.
Yes,
Yeah.
she's got that. So, Lieutenant Martin Poole. Let's see if I have a fun picture for you. Lieutenant Martin Poole is a stocky man. Very, very New York. I just shared a portrait with you all. Heavy set, still a bit muscular, He has a dark complexion and brown hair, which is slicked back. He's neatly dressed. He is well kept, although his clothes are a little tight as of late. He has this air about him as somebody who's very serious about his job. I don't know how much interaction everybody's had with the police before, especially New York police, but he seems like the not to be trifled with type as he walks into the room. He looks around before addressing any of you. I'm not sure, maybe all of you have been led to like sit out in the hallway, especially because it took a bit for him to get here. And he walks into the room before addressing any of you. With his back to you, you see a heavy sigh. And he turns back around and walks towards you all. He kind of passes his gaze over each one of you, and then asks, not really addressing anyone in particular, maybe Charlie, because Charlie looks to be the oldest man, and asks, where is the other lady who was with your party?
Charlie looks around. I think she went to go get medical attention.
My name is Lieutenant Martin Poole. Could I have your names, please? Your full names.
Yes, I'm Charles Rapp.
Good evening, sir. You can call me Zebulon Augustine Clayborne Montgomery III.
And you
can call him
ma'am. He like writes all this down really quick. There is like a moment when he hears Zebulon's full name that he definitely abbreviates it.
Irene Blackwell.
So, Mr. Rapp, Mr. Montgomery. Yeah, there we go. And Ms. Blackwell. What is the name of the fourth person who was here?
Ganymede Graves.
All right. Can you explain to me why you were in this room and anything you saw that might be helpful?
A sure thing. We were coming here to meet a friend. He asked us to meet him here, Jackson Elias, and he kind of nods back. Are we in the hall? Or are we in the room?
I think you're in the hall.
Yeah. So he kind of nods back towards the room. We came in. We saw him on the bed, as well as three other men. They were holding, what were they called, Lauren? Oh, my God.
Pangas.
Pangas. They each had one. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They each had a panga. Immediately charged us. One tried to run. And we defended ourselves.
What was your relationship to the victim?
Friends and old coworker. We, several years back, went on a mission together to Peru. And I know a few of the others worked with him on a book.
That's right. Jackson Elias is a pretty well-known author, centering his work around death cults or something of the like. At this point, you see the some of the uniformed officers who have arrived are taking the one remaining cultist away in handcuffs. He looks very, very out of it, much like he did during the conflict. Can you explain to me what happened with the one who fell from the balcony, from the fire escape? And the way he says fell.
Yeah, Charlie, doesn't seem, he doesn't seem, shaken by the whole thing, and he's just like, we were fighting. He had several knives, and we got caught up on the fire escape, and I pushed him. It was my life or his.
The people in the alleyway nearby said they heard a scuffle. But obviously whoever you pushed would have been dead on impact. Was there another man here?
Yeah, like I said, there were 3.
That's right. Do you know what happened to him?
Do I want to... I feel like I should just tell him. It's just better. It's just better. Yeah, you should find him in the trunk of the car parked outside.
How did he get there?
Myself and Miss Graves pursued him when he ran. We heard that the police were on their way. He was knocked unconscious by Miss Graves. We figured it was a safe place.
I would very much like to talk to this Miss Graves. You said she sought medical attention. Do you know where?
No, I don't.
Do you have a way of contacting her? Do you know anything about where she's staying?
She has a boat.
She has a boat.
Well, I would think so.
It's called the SS Darren. I think you'll find it in port.
He whistles at one of the officers. Get somebody down to the harbor, please. Not US, right? No. SS Daring. Did any of you, this may seem like a strange question. Any of you know, if your friend Jackson Elias had, any enemies here in New York?
None that I personally know of, though he does dig into, a pretty dangerous line of work, working with death cults. I wouldn't be surprised if he poked his nose into something and upset somebody. These people in particular, apparently. But you'll have 2 of them in custody. I'm sure you can just ask them yourself.
Another one of the officers leaves, presumably to go check out the trunk. And it's mostly just you and Poole, and there's, I think, one remaining officer there who's kind of patrolling, getting statements from people who weren't directly involved. And Poole kind of is like up against the wall looking at the 3 of you. This is the 9th murder victim of this kind in the last 2 years. I recognized it right away. Any of you know anything about what I'm talking about?
No. Has this been in the papers?
Yes. I think Zebulon, know that this is something Rebecca had been reporting on. Crime is her area. So this does sound familiar, though it was never like super gone into detail because obviously she never was in a room with the bodies.
I'd heard bits and pieces about some murders happening, but I didn't. Now that I think about it, I guess this is what they all were. I wasn't directly involved with sort of the reporting of that, so I didn't really know what was going on around here. But I'd heard that there had been a few murders around here that had been a bit strange.
Sorry, Lauren, how many was it?
9.
Okay.
Or Jackson is
Just
the
a few.
9th.
Okay.
Just a couple.
I think you all see that Lieutenant Poole is... There's definitely something about this that, like, there's more that he...
Check him.
Huh?
Can I check him?
Yeah, of course you can check him. There's more that he's, like, processing about all of this.
Okay. Big ol' failure.
Cool. Yeah, you're not sure exactly what it is. He just seems to be obviously thinking that trying to suss out how involved all of you were. Like, he's obviously keeping some things back. And he makes a few notes and then asks, what exactly, all of you, what are your occupations here? Are you residents of our fine city?
I am. Bless you.
Thank you.
I am. Been living here for quite some time now.
Do you work?
Yes, I'm a typist over on 3rd.
Do you have the name of your employer?
Irene gives it to him. I
Yes,
don't have a name
that's
off the top of my
fine,
head.
You, Mr. Montgomery, you a journalist
No,
of some kind?
Yes, I am a journalist. I'm not a resident of this city. I'm from down in Charleston, and I was just up here, as we said, meeting with an old friend of ours. Well, then all this happened. You can check in my employer's the Postal Courier down there.
And you, Mr. Rapp?
I'm just visiting. I guess technically you could say I'm unemployed, but I do freelance work.
What kind of freelance work? If I wanted to find a character reference.
I'm sure I could give you more than a few. I work all over the country. I work to debunk people who call themselves psychics, spiritualists, people who do rituals and that sort of thing. There was one in the paper not last week.
No, it's not the kind of stuff I regularly read, but I'm sure we can look it up.
But I'm originally from California.
He's writing most of this down in a notepad. Well, we have a bit more looking around the scene to do. I assume that you've all seen the body.
We have.
Did any of you, or do any of you know the marking on Mr. Elias's forehead? What it is, what it means?
Now, did you say that the markings look similar or exactly the same?
Similar.
Similar. So we don't technically know what they mean.
And we, even though we've seen it before, we don't know what
Still
it means.
don't know what it means, honestly.
Yeah, I think Charlie says we came across something similar, not exact, during our time in Peru. But what it means, I have no idea.
That was what his Mr.
Larkin.
Elias's next new book was gonna be about.
Was that symbol, or what it represents?
No, just our time in Peru and the cult we encountered there.
Which included a person with a similar symbol.
I need to ask you to keep some of the details of this to yourselves, particularly the marking.
I don't think that'll be a problem.
I am certainly not be going around telling people about how my friend got murdered. So.
Irene, make a spot hidden, please.
Cool.
Cool. Yes.
Cool.
Come on. Too extreme.
Jesus.
Ooh, hot.
I keep wanting to say guard. The officer who is taking statements keeps looking at you.
Can I tell what kind of look it is?
Make a psychology check.
Oh god, I'm not good at those. I'll use an advantage on that.
Okay.
Nope.
Yep.
That's fine.
No, he might look vaguely familiar.
Okay.
But you're not sure why he's looking at you, but his eyes do keep wandering toward you.
Cool. Yeah. Irene is defaulting to 2 possibilities in her head, and she doesn't like it.
Yeah, they're both bad.
As she probably actually kind of like shrinks back a little bit, probably pulling the shawl around her a little closer.
Mm-hmm. At this point, Lieutenant Poole, like, fully, like, it's a really heavy sigh, and he leans back against the wall. Looks, over the 3 of you again, and seems to be very intently studying you and looking back at the statements. He doesn't say anything for a long time.
I have a question. Cool, officer. Have all the victims had that marking on them?
Yes, they have. It is not public knowledge, but it's very astute of you.
Well, I am, a journalist. Asking questions, kind of what I do.
Like I said, though, I don't want that published.
Nothing published about this. This isn't really my area of expertise. Also, this one's a little personal. But is there any similarities between the victims? Are they all investigating death cults? Or...
Ozzy, thank you, Ozzy. Everybody gets an advantage. Bless. Saving lives. Saving lives. Tommy, I want you to make any kind of social roll at advantage.
Alright. Yeah, I'm just trying to use my nice southern charm.
Charm, persuade, fast talk, or just general appearance. I'll take any of those, and you can roll at advantage.
Persuade. Best skill, I think. Zebulon doesn't really talk too fast.
Yeah. He's
right.
got that southern drawl. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, that's 1 success.
Regular success on the persuade. Important. Okay. He, I think with all your long, ridiculous names, had kind of, and you being a journalist, he definitely, wasn't expecting this from you, fully. The victims, had no apparent connections. Poor, wealthy, middle class, all races, all over the city. The only thing they had in common were those marks. We, thought we had the man responsible. He is,
I think this is a whole lot bigger than one man, officer.
I always
There were
thought
at
that
least-
myself, but my superior, Captain Robson, thought different, and we did find this man at the scene of the crime.
Did he seem lucid?
Very much so. He did, of course, protest his innocence, but anyone would.
You now have evidence that there have been more than one person involved in these.
Perhaps this man had accomplices, though again, he doesn't seem the type.
Do you still have that man in custody?
That man has been convicted. It has been a while since the last killing.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yes, it is. He's currently up at Sing Sing. We convicted him, or he was convicted last October.
I suspect that any final sentence on that man may have to be postponed for a bit, I'm guessing.
I would hope so. At this point, one of the officers who took away the cultist comes back in out of breath and pulls Lieutenant Poole aside. All of you can hear it though, I think.
And I can read lips.
Oh, that's true. The officer says to Lieutenant Poole that the man and the men, rather, including you assume the one in the trunk, have been taken to the 14th precinct in Harlem. And Lieutenant Poole, you don't need to roll to see this, looks pissed. Not trying to hide it, but obviously getting red in the face. But eventually, their conversation ends. The officer remains and goes to update his fellow officer, who's still sneaking glances at Irene. Is no longer taking statements, seems to have finished up with that, but is still moving his hand over his pad.
Do any of the rest of us notice that?
You can make spot hiddens.
I'd love to.
I will give you more information if they are very good.
Sissies.
Do I want to burn an advantage on this?
I don't know.
Because I have very good lines if I do notice it.
Do it. Do it.
I have
Do it.
4. Might as well use 1.
Sure.
Might as well. Do it.
Well, I just burn them all for unnecessary things.
Yes. Oh,
hard
hard.
The
Okay,
duality
that is
of my
one
rolls.
hard success. One hard success. And Irene, I think if you're still looking with your extreme from earlier, you'll get this too. You definitely, Zebulon, think that he's drawing something? Maybe he's just doodling, I don't know, maybe he's a cartoonist in his time off. Irene, I don't know, I kind of want to make you roll again. if you want more details.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I mean, I have an automatic.
Yeah, you might as well.
Hard success.
Okay. You also see that he seems to be drawing now?
Yeah, don't like that. I'm turning to Charlie.
Uh-huh.
Kind of to try to subtly
Yeah.
not showcase myself to this officer. Do you think they'll ask us to stay around, or?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, he hasn't made any implication that he'll need further than our statements. I think he'll want to track down Ganymede, but as far as making us stay, I don't see it happening.
And like she'll lower her voice, very, very quietly. There's an officer. I think he recognizes me. I'm not sure in what sense.
Are you worried about it?
Seems to be taking very detailed notes.
And I saw the one that was kind of looking at Irene, right? I had a regular
with
success.
a regular success. Yes, but it didn't
Just that
seem
he's looking at her.
right. It didn't seem odd to you.
Yeah. Well, I can go talk to him.
Walk up to him.
Oh, to the guy?
Yeah, up to the officer.
Okay. He pockets his notepad and like straightens up.
Officer, I understand you do have a job here to do, but it is a little rude to stare.
I'm sorry. Sorry, just trying to learn to study expressions, you know.
Well, I mean, I can do a wealth of expressions for you, officer, if you would like to. If you have any questions for my friend, I mean, ask them rather than staring at them. It's the right thing to do if you're gonna be using someone for your study.
Yeah, of course.
Your commanding officer didn't seem too pleased about the other guy getting picked up. Different precinct?
Yeah. Captain Robson of the 14th up in Harlem. He seems to have, he's the one who got Hilton Adams for these murders, and so probably wants to question these men. But pulling rank is his name's Captain Robson, Robson.
Well, are they not on good terms, or is this just honor of the precinct?
You can make charm, fast talk, or persuade.
I'm gonna burn another advantage here.
And it needs to be hard, I'll tell you.
Oh boy. Alright. Come on, bro.
Come on.
Oh, I'm gonna burn the
the 7 luck?
I'm gonna burn the 7 luck here.
Okay.
I've got a lot of luck, so.
Okay. Famous last words. Maybe it's because there are a couple reasons why this may be happening. I'm not going to give them to you, but he kind of like pulls you farther down, so like out of Lieutenant Poole's earshot as he's talking to the other officer. Between you and me, Lieutenant Poole really didn't think the guy Hilton Adams did it, and he thinks maybe it was some kind of frame job, maybe even by the captain himself.
That would be
Just rumors. I mean, you hear rumors, but Lieutenant Poole's definitely got a bee in his bonnet about it.
Now that is very interesting. But you know, about how long it might be before Mr. Glass's body will be released for a funeral. Good friend of ours. I'd like to see if there's anything I can do to help out on that end. Be there when it is.
Sure. We're going to, he has a list of contacts, and we're going to make some phone calls, make some arrangements. Doesn't seem like you really had a family. But I don't think it'll be too long.
If there is no one else, take custody of the body, you can call, Zeb doesn't have a phone here. Zeb doesn't have a phone in New York. Zeb's still living at home, so. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't married yet. He's 21. Like, people used to live with their parents for a long time.
Oh, no, yeah. I just for some reason thought he lived in New York now.
No, he travels between New York and
Okay.
Charleston. So when he's up here, he's in, like, a shabby hotel room for like a week at a time.
Here's Rebecca as your contact.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad idea.
She'll sniff you out wherever you are.
Yeah, she'll. I think I have, like, I don't know if I guess, like, I probably have a Rebecca business card. I probably have like 100 of them. Just call this number and she'll know how to get it. I hand him like a Rebecca should
Great, yeah.
New York
yeah.
Times.
Sure.
Yep, and Zeb will thank you for all your help,
Officer Rossi.
Officer Rossi. It was I don't want to say a pleasure meeting you due to the circumstances, but
Right.
thank you. And Zeb will walk back to the group.
We've been having a conversation.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's
No,
up?
we're just standing there watching Zeb do this.
Listen, I don't know. What y'all talking about? Anything you want to share with the class?
Yes. So I think as Zeb is like fully got this guy's like attention or whatever, Charlie's gonna, cause Officer Poole's off doing his thing, Zeb's over here or whatever. Charlie's just gonna kind of turn to Irene, definitely also keeping their voices super low.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be like, if you think he was taking notes on you, then when they're getting ready to leave, I'm sure I could distract him long enough for you to get the notebook.
Irene's eyes would widen at that. Irene looks incredibly nervous, like she's...
You've got fast hands.
I mean, I guess I could, but I don't know how, if something goes wrong, how we would play that off.
Easily. We're likable.
Irene gives a doubt expression. But
He looks very confident that he could play it off.
So at this point, it does seem like everyone's leaving. Lieutenant Martin Poole just says to all of you, I'll be in contact. I'm going to go and speak to your friend, Miss Graves. But don't leave the city.
And
Sure thing.
if we need to get in contact with you in case we remember anything or learn anything, where can we get in touch with you?
I'm over at Precinct 7A, West 20th Street, just around the corner.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Thank you. Sorry for your loss, everyone.
Oh, before you go, is there any way you could give us the name of the man that you apprehended for the previous murders?
His name is Hilton Adams. From Harlem.
Thanks.
Good night. The officers are, one of them is going to stay, but Officer Rossi is going to start to go. Like, one of them is staying until the coroner is here, obviously. Are you doing anything?
I guess we are.
Just give me the look.
Irene just gives Charlie the most like, oh god, I hate this idea, but...
I'm going to do something.
Okay, what are you gonna do?
What am I gonna do? I'm going to low-key trip him.
Okay.
I think. Because basically what I want to happen is I want to trip him so that he falls, and then I can be like, oh, sorry, and like help him up. Giving Irene an opportunity where he's like distracted.
So
and probably a little embarrassed from tripping in front of everyone.
Okay. What do you think this is? What skill do you think this is?
This is probably, I wish there was just a trip skill. I mean, I don't know, really.
Okay,
I mean, it technically could be brawl if you wanted it. Like,
I think to make it. Here's what I'll say. I think
Okay.
I'll let you roll dex, but it needs
Okay.
to be harder, better to make it look like it was an accident.
yeah, cool. Okay, I'm gonna use a million advantages. Oh, I didn't mean to roll that. Sorry.
Yeah, that's sanity. You're
I just
still
wanted
very
to-
sane.
I just wanted to get to my advantages. Okay, here we go. I'm so sane this whole
Isn't that
time.
nice?
Okay, here we go. Everybody wish me luck. Hard
Okay.
success.
Hard
Regular
success. So, yeah, what does this look like?
I think that this is like we're kind of like parting ways a little bit, and Charlie's just gonna do that thing where he steps a little too wide. His foot like it's kind of like he's probably like talking to Zeb or something to make it very convincing that he's not paying attention.
Yeah.
And he's going to basically just step out a little bit into what's his name, Rossi's path,
Uh-huh.
and trip him.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he falls, Charlie's gonna like be like, oh shit, basically,
Yeah.
and like lean down to go help him up, but he's really kind of making it complicated. Like he's like making it more difficult to get up, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah.
Irene will step up to help.
This is gonna be sleight of hand.
Yes, I know.
Do you have points in sleight of hand?
Yes, I
Oh,
have so
shit.
many points in
Oh
That's
sleight
why
of
we
hand.
were talking about it in chat.
I
You see
am.
that
I
shit?
don't pay attention to what you're saying.
No, I have 80 in sleight of
Oh,
hand.
Jesus. Okay. Jeez.
You would think
Disadvantage.
that would help. I once had a character in Call of Cthulhu with 80 sleight of hand. Never succeeded on a sleight of hand check.
Anyways,
Don't roll it with
she's
advantage.
a
Just- Don't
I'm
roll
gonna
it with
burn an advantage.
No, just roll it straight. I'm sure it's fine.
Okay. Success.
Yep. So you're trying to steal his notebook?
Yes.
Okay. Or his notepad or whatever it is.
Yeah.
What
I
does
have a
this
shawl.
look like? Are you like helping him up too?
Yeah, probably go to the other side to help him up and pretty much using the shawl to kind of help obscure some of what's going on. She'll slip it out and into kind of into her sleeve.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
You succeed.
I give him a really hard pat on the back. Pat, pat. Kind of hurts a little bit. Send him on his merry way.
Perfect.
Sure, this is fine.
Yeah, this
We
is
did it and
great.
it went amazing. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Okay. Across the city, you would think they would give me a hospital to go to on this map.
Bellevue.
Bellevue! Where's that? Tell me.
Straight down 23rd.
Oh,
on
awesome.
East Manhattan.
Hi, Ganymede. So how much damage did you take? And it was mostly the panga, right?
It's practically none at all. I don't even know why I'm at the hospital.
What did you take?
I took 7 of 24, so I'm at 17 out of 24 original hit points.
Okay.
Just a third.
Just a third. Okay. Would you like to roll what you recover? I mean, you're with professionals, so.
Yes.
Why don't you roll 2d4?
All right. Brilliant.
Yep. So, how this goes is obviously they like patch you up. It's just, I mean, that coupled with the falling and all of the physical strain, for now, you're still at least feeling weak. You're not bleeding or anything. You're patched up, but not in. You're not like ready to do that again.
Yeah.
Yet, anyway.
Cool.
And I think the wait
This is good. This is
decently
fine.
long. What's your plan after the hospital?
I am heading to Charlie's hotel after the hospital.
Right.
I think I'm probably making a stop back by the Explorer Society, which is where I'm staying and where my shotgun boarding axe is. I think I'm probably not leaving home without it again for a while.
Okay, how are you carrying it around?
Well, there's I've got a sort of a holster for it that I can wear across my back that closes. So it just looks like a leather sort of backpack almost.
Okay.
But it's your world. You can do whatever you want with that.
I think with everything and how long it took Pool to get there and then everything that happened, I do think you get released before he gets there. So you're going to Charlie's hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah. You stop at the Explorers Society, grab your stuff. Whereabouts is Charlie staying?
You know, a hotel. I don't know.
You
He's
know.
staying. He's staying in a really nice hotel.
Oh, a really
like
nice
a
one?
really
Of course
nice.
he is.
Yes,
Okay,
of
so
course
like
he is.
the
He has so much
Waldorf
money.
Astoria?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Cool. Cool, that's not very far away actually, so that's good. Easy
Fucking
for
go.
me. Yeah, so Ganymede, as you are headed back I mean, you definitely see activity in front of the Hotel Chelsea. Police cars and such. If you check out the alleyway, you see the car that was parked there has been towed by this point. The body of the cultist who was pushed has been removed. And you can make your way to Charlie's, which I assume is where everybody else is going?
I would tell them as soon as we got free of the, interrogation that I had told Ganymede we would meet at my hotel. So unless there was stops that they needed to make prior to, then that's where we would probably head.
Yeah. Flip's got nothing else to do at the moment, so. Kind of real bummed out about a lot of stuff, but also there's a sense of just like when you get on that trail of something happening, right? That itch to go and do stuff.
Yeah, so I think we all come back together in the Waldorf Astoria in Charlie's suite, maybe.
It's gorgeous. It looks like a rat's been living there now. He wasn't anticipating. I mean, I'm sure they have maid service, actually. So it's probably really nice. It's probably the nicest it's been.
Yeah.
Since he refused to leave for the past week or whatever. But yeah.
Seems like you're doing real well for yourself these days, Charles.
Does it?
Yep.
Irene's immediately flipping over the notebook as soon as they're in a private space.
Mm-hmm.
She's flipping over the notebook that she stole.
Yeah. Most of it looks like it should. And then there is a very detailed drawing of Irene's face.
Cool, love that.
He's gonna get in so much trouble for losing all of his statements.
Yeah.
Is he a good artist?
He's not bad. He's definitely not bad. You can definitely tell it's of Irene. It's not like it's off the mark.
So Ganymede's here at this point.
Yeah, I think Ganymede, you can arrive unless you'd like to do anything before coming up to the room.
No, I think I would ring up just to make sure that you're already there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd head up.
Okay.
Moving very slowly and gingerly
Sure.
as I come in.
Yeah.
Miss Graves, it's good to see you're doing okay. Are you doing okay?
Oh yes. Just I'll be fine. Just a stitch here and there. No worries. So how did things go with the authorities?
Fine enough. Just wanted to know what happened.
Yeah. I picked up some pretty interesting information, although you may want to speak with Lieutenant Poole at the 7A precinct?
7A, yeah.
7A. I believe he was looking to question you about what happened tonight.
Yes, of course.
Seems that this is not the first murder of this sort. Now I remember Miss friend of mine, an associate of mine, Miss Schosenberg at the New York Times. She mentioned something about a number of murders in this town, and well, it seems like this one's connected to
it. Can I just assume that you share with me everything that you've learned from? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and then it's like, I talked to Officer Rossi. He seems to, well, you didn't hear it from me, but Lieutenant Poole was talking about that man that they seem to have wrongly apprehended. They think that captain at the 14th precinct framed the man just to have a suspect charged.
Were you able to retain any of any documents that you discovered in the hotel room?
Would Zeb have taken anything from the crime scene?
If you didn't, Charlie took it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that feels like more of a Charlie thing, because Charlie was there when Zeb was going through stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I feel like that's more of a Charlie thing than a Zeb thing.
Yeah, I think Charlie just reaches into his coat and pulls out just like all of those papers that we found.
Everything.
Yeah, literally
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, and Ganymede shares with you the two items that she took from the cultist that she caught. It's quite strange, she says, and pointing at the photograph of the ship. I know that ship. Had a bit of a run-in with them in the South China Sea. Pirates, if you can believe it. Such a thing still exists, but they do. Can't imagine why Jackson would have a photo of their ship, though. None of this makes any sense.
Now that you're all together, Ganymede, this is also the first time that you've seen the business card for the Penhew Foundation in London with the name Edward Gavigan on it. The Penhew Foundation is... I mean, their focus is on archaeology.
Right.
The founder, Sir Aubrey Penhew, was obviously part of the Carlisle expedition, which is where that name rings a bell.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't make sense. I mean, Mr. Jackson, he investigated these death cults. Clearly some sort of death cult investigating him back. That sounds like Mr. Jackson to me.
What I am most curious of, I think, is why he wanted us here, and what he intended to share with us or to ask of us in bringing us together again. Did you find anything at all that might give us some clues in that regard?
So we got the letter from Harvard, right? From him, we got the Cult of Darkness lecture.
Yeah.
And that one's New York.
Yeah.
Right. The things that were related to New York were the Cult of Darkness lecture that was being held at New York University, but I mean, it's obviously over. It's already happened.
And then, did we get were we the ones with the Emerson Imports card?
Imports card, yeah, that's in New York as well, with the name scribbled on the back in Elias's hand. Those are the ones that relate to New York.
Well, as far as I see it, we have a lot of potential leads that involve investigating the death cult again.
Irene, do you still have your sketchbook with you?
I mean, I brought it for a reason. And she'll take out the familiar sketchbook from Peru, which has kind of become her cult investigation sketchbook at this point.
Is this also the one that you drew down Charlie's vision in?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think he would hold out a hand to like take it.
Yeah, she'll give it over.
And flip open to the page, the drawing of Jackson Elias, like sitting at that table from Charlie's vision. And Charlie goes over to there's like probably like a desk area with all of his papers that have been like neatly stacked by the maid. And he kind of sorts through them and pulls out one that's like folded up really tightly. And he, as he's kind of unfolding it, he looks over at Ganymede and Zeb. How do you tell somebody that you're psychic? Okay. And he says, so you all know what I do, right?
Yep.
Okay, great. I got into this line of work when I was around 18 because I was particularly gifted at sorting out the real psychics from the fakes. Well, there's no really easy way to say this, but when I was 16, I died. I was dead for 13 minutes after a car accident. And when they revived me, I could speak to the dead.
Okay, Charles.
You don't have
Now
to believe me?
I'm real glad that Anna broke up.
Okay.
A flake and crazy.
You don't have to believe me. It's the truth. And about a week and a half ago, I was actually at a seance debunking this con of a woman, and I had a vision, several visions actually, and one of them was of Jackson Elias, and he kind of offers, not to Zeb, but now to Ganymede, because Zeb clearly isn't buying it, but he holds out the notebook, the picture of Jackson that Irene drew, and then he hands out this folded piece of paper, and it's the one that says many names, many forms, but all the same, and toward one end it's that whole spiel that he's written down and recorded. And he hands it to Ganymede and says, I saw him. He saw me for a very brief moment, I think. I'm not sure if I was there or if it was some kind of dream, but this is what he said. And we're seeing these names come up. So I thought you all should know. And I imagine that like on the other page of the notebook would be that drawing of Ganymede's parents.
Yeah, so that
he hasn't addressed it, but because it wasn't relevant to him. But
Jackson, right? All of you can even tell it's him. I mean, with his, hat and his tweed jacket on the chair. like almost kind of, I feel like maybe Irene drew him almost like looking over his shoulder, how he
At
did
Charlie.
it right at Charlie. But on the opposite page, the one that on the left-hand side are two figures. One obviously like dressed for the desert. One is a man, one is a woman. The man's got his face covered, but the woman has her part of hers like pulled down, and she obviously looks very familiar to you, Ganymede. This looks like your mother, Phoebe.
Yeah.
Who disappeared when you were 8?
Ganymede is looking at you, Charlie, as you're describing all of this, and it's only when you stop speaking that she looks down at the page. And for a moment, that the sheet with all of with what you heard written on it is covering that other image as she holds open the sketchbook. But she slides it just a bit, and then you hear her breath sort of catch in her throat. Irene, you drew this, and she points to the picture of the two people.
Yes, based off of Charlie's descriptions of his vision, dream.
And then
that was
she
one of the
looks.
few I saw.
You saw this. You saw them.
Yes, it was a couple. They were asking me to help find their daughter.
Charles, these are my parents. My parents were explorers. They were lost on an expedition into the Amazon when I was a child. Almost 20 years ago. You saw them.
Yeah, it was like I was there. They saw me too.
Where was this? It looks like a desert.
It was. I don't know exactly where, but I'm sure that, well, Irene did a great job of sketching it down. Maybe I could do some research, but they seemed young, right? In my vision?
Yeah, they seemed early 40s.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's right, or late 30s,
Mm-hmm.
probably.
Are there any cues in the sketch that I could take to that might give me a hint of where they are, other than a desert somewhere?
No.
Yeah, did I see any major landmarks? It was just sand. I'm looking at my notes to see if I wrote down
Right.
anything.
There was sand.
I was trying to remember if there was anything else.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think you just see Ganymede looking down at the page and I think you see a couple of tears running down her cheeks.
Do you believe me?
I am willing to concede the possibility, yes.
Can't go believe in this charlatan. Enemy. This is exactly the type of stuff that he debunks. It's just, Surely he must have seen a picture of your parents on the daring, or looked you up at some point. This is exactly what all those other spooks that, not spooks, not the word, he would use. All those
Zeb,
other charlatans do to get into people's wallets. They do their research.
Zeb.
They read signs, and there's
Good
signs in your
God.
body, and
Zebulon.
I understand that your feelings are hurt because of what happened with me and your sister, but you need to get over it. Because
you're
one of our
telling me
friends
to
is
believe that you're
dead.
psychic. I don't believe that it's that unreasonable to be a little skeptical about
A
it.
little skeptical. You're trying to defame me.
Is that what you do?
Zebulon. Do I look like someone who would willingly go along with the charade? For how many years have we known each other now, Charlie?
Getting on 6.
Do I seem like someone who could be tricked for that long?
Now, Miss Blackwell, I have the utmost respect for you, and I believe that you are a very capable person given the few weeks we spent together in Peru. But that is about the extent of our relationship. So to be honest, I mean, I like you, and I'd like to think that you are a very sensible person, but psychic, really?
Zebulon, do you remember nothing of our conversations on the way to Patagonia? What you have offered is a hypothesis that explains how Charles may have come up with this image, but it is merely that, a hypothesis. For you to embrace it without first testing it, well, that's... You can call that what you like, but it's...
Hypothesis is a damn mite bit more sensible than a sidekick.
Need I remind you, Zebulon, that you set creatures afire simply by touching them with a gold bar? That perhaps you might be a bit more open-minded about your understandings of the natural world and how it functions.
I'm sure there's some sort of scientific explanation we can come up with for that.
I'm sure you're correct. But until we've come up with one, perhaps best to keep all your options on the table.
And what about your dreams? What about all of our dreams? Are you telling me
Traumatic
410 was
experiences, horrific
410?
horrific event.
You have previous experience with that number? Traumatic experience with that number?
I don't know what I've subconsciously had experience with.
That was a vision, Zeb, of the future. A premonition.
Well, we could lay about Charles' apartment all day talking about it. And she reaches down and sort of runs her hand along her side where the stitches are. And I, for one, am not necessarily rejecting that idea, but I'd prefer to devise some sort of a plan. I'm assuming, of course, that we're going to investigate all of this.
Doesn't sit right with me to not.
Are y'all crazy? Well, a man is dead. Several people are dead. And the last time that we went up against weird death cults, we went and found a pit of a lot of dead people.
If this is all connected to a death cult, and if Jackson had something to do with it, we're already on their radar. We know information that most public people don't, and we have a relationship with someone who was just, if I was to make some presumptions, killed for some information he had. He wanted us all together. He had all this documentation in his room. Knowing him, I think he was going to share. I'd rather know what's going on than wait around and hope it doesn't come knocking. Besides, two of the leads are right here in New York. Won't have to go very far. Not like we're allowed to.
Lauren.
I need to go. I'm gonna go where I'm staying. I'm gonna get some sleep. I hope that this was all a bad dream.
Yes.
Good luck with that.
Summer?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
We have now seen all of this stuff about Carlisle, right?
Yes.
Carlisle's safe.
Uh-huh.
Where would that be? Where were the Carlisles located?
New York.
Whoa, that's so weird.
Yeah.
Would I be able to get like a residence on that?
You probably know where Erica lives.
Yeah, I would say so. Great.
As Zebulon, are you like getting ready to go?
Yeah, Zeb grabs his hat and his jacket, and
Yeah. As he does so, I don't know if there were phones in hotel rooms at this time, but I'm saying there are.
I paid enough.
Yeah. This is a bougie hotel.
Yeah.
The phone rings.
Charlie walks over to it and picks it up. Hello.
Hi. This is my name is Willa Sly. Is this are you Zebulon or Charles?
No, this is Charlie.
Has something happened to Uncle Jackson?
I'm sorry, who is this?
My name is Willa Sly. I'm I don't know if these names will mean anything to you. My uncle is Mr. Jackson Elias's lawyer and friend. But I was laying down for sleep and I had the strangest dream, and I knew to call you. To call this number anyway.
Well, yes, something did happen to him. I think you should come over. I'm staying at the Waldorf.
What happened to him?
I'm sorry, but he's dead. He was murdered.
You hear her kind of, it sounds like there's a big intake of breath, and you can obviously, she's trying not to full on sob. But you hear another voice saying, Willa, what's going on? And you hear her say, Uncle Jackson's dead. And I think even through the phone you can hear a knock on the other side of the line, like a loud knock, and you hear Martin Poole's voice, as the door opens, and obviously they're coming to speak with this family about Jackson. And you hear just Willa go silent as she's all this is coming together for her. And you just hear her say, I had the strangest dream.
Listen, when you get the chance, this is my room number. Come by.
I'll try.
Write it down if you have the opportunity, your dream, everything that you remember.
I will.
I'm sorry.
I need to call Mr. Kensington. I'll try to come by tomorrow.
I'll wait around for you.
And you hear the click as she hangs up.
Yeah, he slowly hangs up and then just turns. You all heard his end of the conversation, at least. So he turns and looks at you. Miss Willa Sly had a dream that something happened to Jackson. She said she knew to call this number. I didn't even give my room number to the police, just the hotel.
Ganymede looks to Zebulon. Your hypothesis for this, Zebulon?
I'm gonna go get some sleep. I recommend you all do the same. I'm just gonna leave.
Yep.
Zeb does not go home, by the way.
Where does he go?
He's gonna go to the New York Times and see if he can get access to some of those newspapers about the other murder.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
As the door closes, as he leaves, Ganymede says to the others, he'll come around. He's got too much of his mother in him, that one.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
It's been a long night and only a couple of hours in.
Charles, I wonder, well, I'm wondering about some dinner. Perhaps something could be brought up.
Oh, I'm sure it could. You feeling anything in particular?
I'm feeling everything in particular. I'm starving.
Yeah, I think he just goes back over to the phone and picks it up and rings down to have just the fucking works brought up. Just whatever, everything that's good, bring it up here. And a lot of wine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Irene's sitting on the bed, and she's still looking at that sketch of her. So her mind kind of goes through the possibilities, which she doesn't like any of them. Yeah.
Charlie comes over and just puts a hand on her shoulder. It's gonna be fine.
I don't like either possibilities of why an officer would do this.
Yeah, I know. But it's gonna be okay.
And I think as everybody winds down the night in their own way, we'll go ahead and end today's session there. Yay! Everything's fine. Everything's fine and good and fine.
Charlie's just eating and drinking till he passes out.
Smart.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
okay. Let's go around and talk to everybody. Who should we start with? Tommy!
Hi.
Hi.
Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Zebulon has some feelings,
Sure. Yeah.
particularly when it comes to one Mr. Charles Rapp.
Mr. Charles Rapp.
Also very upset at the death of a friend.
Sure. Sure.
You know, sort of a friend / mentor. Someone he looked up to a lot. Is, you know, definitely does have that very curious itch, but also like trying to be up, like, you know, not trying to be upset, is upset, right? Like, so yeah, it's gonna take a bit more than just a happenstance timed call to convince Zebulon that psychics are real. He's seen enough haunted crypts in the last couple of years.
Yeah, totally makes sense.
But yeah, that was a super great session. I loved everything. Oh my gosh, the sense of like, I've done nothing wrong, but I'm still nervous to speak to the police officer that you managed to convey in that moment was very good. It was just like very good. And yeah, I'm super excited to see what I find out next week. Research. Surprisingly good at now. I am Adam Pengu on the Twitter sphere. I do tabletop RPG stuff across the interwebs. I also do some video editing work, like the video for this channel or for this show. And other than here on Saturday mornings, you can find me over on Encounter Roleplay on Friday afternoons, evenings, 6 p.m. Eastern, where we play a very Stephen King meets Lovecraftian horror story. And oh boy, things have happened. I'm not going to tell you what, because that would spoil a lot of things. But you should watch it. It's all on YouTube. It's very good. It's very spooky. And yeah, oof. That's all I gotta say about that one. Other than that, follow me on Twitter to find out where and when I'll be.
Excellent. Summer.
Hi, I am Summer. This was so much fun. No tension at all in this
Zero
group.
tension.
None. Zero. There's no good way to tell your friends that you're a psychic. Literally no good way, especially when one of them was already mad at you. But this was super, super fun. I cannot wait to see how next week goes. I mean, obviously that's what we say every week because we're always excited for more. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Just a Summer Job. That is where I tweet and retweet everything that I've got going on. Obviously, you can find me here every Saturday. You can find me on off_the_table Tuesdays through Fridays at 6 PDT, playing a bunch of games. I run some podcasts and I'm on some podcasts, and yes, that's everything. Just go follow all these other beautiful people. They're out there doing it.
Yes. Allison, dear Allison.
Hey, wow. I love everything about this. It's super tense, but it would be, and it should be. And I love the way that we're all playing it. And I love, Lauren, the fact that you give us the space to play it and just play out the relationships as they unfold. It's really, really cool. And everything that I love about RPGs. Thanks so much to all of you, my amazing friends playing with me here, and thanks so much to all of our viewers, especially those who were dropping advantages on us. I am saving them up for when the time is right.
For when the time is right.
For the next time, I've got to swing off of fire escapes, which will probably be very, very soon if I know this game and I know our keeper. I can be found on Twitter at Allison Robinson, with 2 L's and a Y, where you will probably find me talking a lot about this stuff. And in the days to come, you'll see me blathering on about Strange Invasion, Assault on the Barrier Peaks, our D&D 5e campaign here on the channel on Monday nights, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. D&D plus weird science, planar shifting, aliens and UFOs, maybe, who knows, but it's super fun. So catch us there. And you can find everything else that I'm doing on Twitter, because basically that's where I live my life. I will see you there.
Fabulous. Key, we should do personal stuff.
Yeah. So, we'll do personal stuff for Good Channel. I'm Kienna. I'm the sweet of this channel, but you can find me over on Twitter at Kienna S. Best way to figure out what I'm doing. I am on WebDM on Tuesdays doing Simba Room, and on Golden Light on Fridays doing Cypher System with Zyra. Really awesome stuff. But mostly I'm just here, just hanging out, just doing cool stuff here. What about you, Lauren?
I am Lauren. I'm the salty of this channel, and I'm that salty ginger over on the Twitter. You can find me here, obviously, every weekend. You can also find me on Off the Table every other Friday, on the Scraticus Academy on Thursday evenings, and on Nomadic this month on Tuesday afternoon/evening, depending on your time zone. And very soon with a super cool Barovian revenge game, which I'm excited about. Some Ravenloft fun. But that's it for personal stuff for me.
Yeah, so let's go through our channel stuff. First of all, love to give a shout out to our sponsor, Roll20. They are wonderful people bringing together gamers from all across space. And potentially time, depends on how you look at time zones. They are amazing. We are part of their Spotlight program, which highlights a bunch of indie TTRPG creators. So please check out Roll20, go support them, and go support all the other Roll20 Spotlight people. As well, we are now Dice Envy affiliates. We're super excited to be pairing up with this amazing dice company. They're really fun, really cool sets of dice, really high quality. And if you go over and use our link and you use the code SaltySweet, all caps, one word, you get 10% off of your dice. So you can help support us and get some pretty quick lax while you're at it. Talking about supporting us, you should also, if you like getting stuff in return for supporting us, we have a Redbubble where you get some merch. of our cute pretzel designed by Summer, or complex love polyhedral. And also, of course, following, subbing, donating, all that stuff. All of it goes directly into the channel, so we can keep the lights on and keep making stuff for y'all. All this great content for everybody. Speaking of great content, we have a YouTube channel, so if you ever miss an episode or want to rewatch one, we upload over to there. We're getting really close to 100, so please help us. Please end my suffering of having
Kienna
inconsistent
is
branding.
in pain.
Please,
In pain.
please. I really don't like having inconsistent branding, so it's very helpful to try to get to the 100 subs. And also, you'll get all the cool actual play content and video game content we do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for our TTRPG stuff, and whatever day I feel like uploading for all of our other things. And of course, speaking of other things, make sure to follow us on Twitter and here on Twitch, so that you will get notified when we go live, or when we announce new shows, or when we do impromptu video game or one-shot streams, because we do that sometimes, and we don't plan them ahead of time. So you'll just get a random notification of, hey, we're going live in an hour.
Hey.
So make sure to follow us on Twitter and keep up on all of that stuff. We're going to go raid a friend of ours. We'll go find out who that is in a second. But make sure to stick around in chat. If you have the hype emote from subbing, please spam that hype emote.
Spam that hype. Hype that spam.
Words are difficult.
Spam.
And if you don't, make sure to just spam some hearts for love from us at saltysweetgames. We'll be back live on Monday. We're not going to be live tomorrow because tomorrow's Mother's Day. But we're back live on Monday with Strange Evasion. And we'll see you all next time.
Wait, bye, everybody. Goodbye. Goodbye.